And welcome to the show. It is May the 8th. Happy Mother's Day to you all out there. Happy Mother's Day to all your mothers out there. We're raising children, animals, whatever. You are a mother in a sense somewhere. Welcome. Say hello. Say Happy Mother's Day to even those who have passed, your mothers who have long passed many years ago, maybe recently, due to COVID or any other diseases or any other natural illnesses. I know my mother, she passed away 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, back around when I was getting real heavy into doing YouTube. Actually, doing YouTube was a getaway, I guess, to cope with, because my mother passed away. I lost my mother, and I was also in the midst of other things as well going on in my life, and YouTube served as a big purpose. So it's something that kept me going. It kept my mind focused on something else, rather than grieving. And there's nothing wrong with grieving. There's nothing wrong with grieving family members, passing away, or friends or siblings or whatever. But, Happy Mother's Day to my mom out there. Happy Mother's Day to you all out there. Happy Mother's Day to my fiance out there. I got somebody messaging me random shit. I ain't got time for that. Anyway, my co-host Mike, he is muted right now. He's listening to a sermon on a show he's watching. He'll be in here in a little bit. I told him yesterday we're not going to do anything really political today on today's show. We'll save that for the next time. Of course, today is Mother's Day. Special episode. We can share stories, Mother's Day related stories, or we can go into and just, create some humor. That's basically what the tone of the show is. It's either humor or me dying or talking about spending the last hour setting up shit outside for a Mother's Day cookout later on when Mel comes back home.
Right.
So how you feeling over there, man? How's everything going on Mother's Day?
It was mine was pretty good. I started mine at midnight, matter of fact.
Y'all get drunk?
No, I just gave my mom her gifts and stuff early. Plus, I'm turning it down a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Because I was playing Tom McDonald. But anyways, I was pretty much just gave her a couple gifts early before, and then just gave her a card at midnight, and pretty much that was it.
Yeah.
I decided I do like to do stuff early sometimes. Like, okay, it's done out of the way,
Yeah, get it over with. Why not?
Whatever. Yeah.
Also,
you don't wake her up at like 10 o'clock. I'm still sleeping. And like, okay.
It's like early Christmas. You know how kids are. They try to get us gifts as early as they can, around Christmas time, All right.
I agree.
If you guys are listening or whatever, if you are in our Discord, you can feel free to hop in the general voice chat section at any time. Share your thoughts. Come on in, join the party and all. So yesterday, I was thinking about doing a podcast yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I want to do some Halo. So I'm getting more back into Halo Infinite. I still ain't beat the campaign on that, but it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but I've been focusing more on like the multiplayer aspect. And they just released Season 2. Season 2 goes on from May 2nd to November something. I forgot what it is, so it's a few months. And it's like, like Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever. They go on for a few months, and you buy the premium pass, and you can unlock cosmetic skins and all that shit. Like, usually a premium pass for those games is like $9, which ain't that bad. It's just extra cosmetic stuff that you could open up as you rank up in the multiplayer section. So Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I was looking at this website, zleagues.com, and there's a lot of people out there that participate in tournaments in certain games like Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, Halo, etc., etc. And I was looking at this website, and I'm trying to keep everything linked to like my Microsoft account, but it was like jumbled with like another different account or whatever, and I was like, fuck. So I gotta wait 90 days to straighten all that out. But basically, if you there's some tournament, there's certain days of the tournament that you could enter. They're either free to enter, or you pay a couple dollars to get in to enter, and they happen at certain times. And I'm not going to participate in a lot of them because they're at night. And either at night I'm going to
Alright.
work, or me and the family's going to bed, we're going to sleep. So it's like, okay, I'll try to find something that's like during the day when I'm wide awake and I'm not really doing anything with the family. I'm just to myself. But some of those tournaments, they offer currency points that you can rank up, and you keep if you hit like the top place of the tournament or whatever, and you earn a lot of those currency points, and you could turn them into cash. And they also got prizes as well. And I think yesterday I was reading it during the end of the stream. I was like, okay, for 1 million credits, you can turn it in and win a Xbox Series X or S or a PlayStation 5. And I'm like, that's pretty cool, but you got to play a lot of fucking games. You got to get good, son, with that kind of shit.
Yeah, Mike, not 3 kills and you're dead.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, you can either play Apex, Call of Duty, Warzone, and Halo, and I'm like, Warzone. I'm not too big of a fan into. I play it once in a blue moon, but I'm like, it is what it is. But Halo and Apex, I haven't even touched Apex in a while. But a lot of people are heavy into Apex. I'm thinking about getting back into it, but Halo's always been my thing. But then, like, sometimes I'll sit there, I'll start raging, I'll get into a fit of rage, and I'm like, this is why I stopped playing this fucking shit, because of motherfuckers camping and all. So I'm sitting there yesterday, and I'm making a point of, I'm making a statement or a point about campers in the game. I'm like, you know what? They should have a penalization thing in all first-person shooters on multiplayer, where if you sit there in a corner and camp the same spot for more than 10 seconds, you should be penalized for it. There should be like a self-destruct thing that comes up on the screen and says, move in 5 seconds or your ass is grass or something, and then if you ain't moved, you just blow up and you lose points or something. That should be something that a lot of these developers should implement in multiplayer games, because I don't have an issue with somebody using a sniper rifle. It's a typical weapon in a game like that. There's nothing wrong with a sniper rifle. But if you're going to sit in one particular spot and just camp the fuck out of it, especially if you're spawn killing, you should be penalized for that. That's something that game developers should implement. I kind of wish they would, but then you got a lot of crybaby bitches out there. Why did he put that in place? Oh, I can't get any wins now. Oh, this game sucks. Like, well, get good, son. Get good. Don't fucking sit there and camp in the same spot and expecting to rank up. That way it's an unfair advantage to other people when you do shit like that. So it's like, you should be penalized, and if it ever happens, good. But I was doing all that yesterday. I was playing Halo. I had a lot of fun, and there was a couple things. There was one thing I clipped from the stream and I uploaded it already. It was a what the fuck moment. I don't even know if you were there for that. I think you might have stepped away for a second.
Yeah, probably did, but I did watch though.
Yeah, there was a point where I was sitting there talking. I was walking through. I was playing a game of Fiesta, and Fiesta is basically every time you die, your weapon's randomized, so you get different weapons throughout the match. And I started out with a rocket. And I was on a platform, and I was coming up to this doorway, and there was a guy that just stuck his head out the door. So I was going to go ahead. Okay, I started pulling the rocket out, started firing. As soon as I fired, it just blew up in my face, and it showed the guy sniped me. I was like, what? Wait, what the fuck? And I even had to do a replay on that. I clipped it and replayed it. And I was like, what the fuck happened there? It's like the guy stuck his head out. I didn't see a bullet fire or anything. I fired the rocket and just like spontaneously combusted right in front of me. I'm like, oh, hold the fuck up. And I clipped that and put it on there. And I was getting very scientific with it during the stream. I'm like, okay, here's what I think happened. At the very second this guy fired his sniper rifle round and I fired my rocket, it came within a certain path of trajectory where it just collided and blew up in my face. I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened. So I clipped that. There's another thing I'm going to upload later on tonight if I can from the same stream. I don't know if you were there for it, where I was playing 3 matches of Last Man Standing, which is basically the Battle Royale system for Halo Infinite. You get 12 people in there, and all 12 people start out with 5 lives each. And it's a small map, You know,
Oh yeah, I seen that.
yeah, that was very competitive. I enjoy that. But when I died, I ran out of lives. I started fucking commentating on everybody and shit. I was like, damn, I'm having fun with this. I'm just sitting there like, and here he comes. He's going up the ramp. He's going for a couple of grenades. And meanwhile, this fucktard over here, he's just standing there looking stupid. He don't know where the fuck to go. And back to this guy. You know, that kind of thing. That's kind of like somebody we once knew here on YouTube. He went by the name Green Dream. You know, used to do those kind of videos and shit. So I was doing that in the sense of that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. And then Tim comments, he was like, oh, you would just have to tone down the language. I was like, fuck that. I'll fucking commentate however I want. I'm like, this is much more fun. But I was doing all that, so it was fun yesterday. So I figure, you know, today would be podcast day, you know, do the show for Mother's Day and all.
All right.
I'll let you kick it off. Do you have any special Mother's Day stories or memories or anything you like to share?
None really. I don't really have any memories. I know it's all about mamas though.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Yeah, I know. My mom, when she was alive, there was a lot of things that she was into that I could try to remember off the top of my head. I know she used to like crocheting and sewing and stuff. She used to try to find a lot of different little things, little hobbies to keep herself interested in. You know, she used to, you know, crochet blankets. Then when she got out of that, because she wasn't, you know, I guess maybe it took too long for her to, you know, get yarn together and stuff like that. So she would do a number of different things. You know, she used to like those activity books with the crossword puzzles and the word searches. Yeah, any mom would like to do that. You know, it keeps them busy. You know, and she would get the special ones
that or play phone games nowadays.
Yeah, well, my mom wasn't lucky enough to have a phone. She did get a laptop at one point. You know, she got her own laptop. She would sit there and play solitaire and stuff because she used to play on my dad's computer. You know, whenever he was at work.
Solitaire? Who plays that still?
Shit, I do. it's a
you still play solitaire?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, hell, I play it on PC, but once in a blue moon, if I got a deck of cards, even though it feels like it takes too long to set up, I'll sit there and play it. Because, hell, my granddaddy, he used to play cards all the time whenever he'd come home from work. You know, he would sit at the table with a deck of cards, bust them out, and play some solitaire or whatever. But yeah, she used to like playing that. She would get on my dad's computer and play games like that. And even when we started getting the internet, and this was when we first got into DSL, which was like early stages of what we're using now with Ethernet. We used to have DSL. That was like the next.
Dial-up.
Well, dial-up was before that. You know, we did have dial-up. You know, I was using dial-up internet still because that was what was hooked up in my room. And
AOL.
Yeah. Well, we went off this server.
The good perks about AOL though is when you're on Instant Messenger, you could challenge people. Or no, that's Yahoo. Yahoo Instant Messenger, you can play pool on that against your own people you're talking to.
Yeah, because Yahoo had different games that you can get on there and go back and forth with people. But yeah, I had DSL hooked up in my room at the time, and my dad, he had just gotten DSL, and that's where, you know, like I said, it's like Ethernet basically. You know, the very first stages of Ethernet, you know, connectivity, where you didn't have to worry about plugging your computer into a phone line. So, you know, she would be on my dad's computer. You know, she would play bingo games. That was one thing she was into back in the day, was bingo. She would play bingo online just for fun. I wouldn't even trust doing the online bingo websites where you pay out or you earn currency and shit. I don't even trust. They seem too scammy for me. But if I want to if I want to play bingo for money, I'll just go to a bingo hall somewhere, you know, and play. But she used to like doing that. She even had she has some of the bingo markers. She had a bag full of them and stuff. And there was one particular night of the week, you know, she had my dad take her, you know, to one of the bingo halls. She'd be there for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, something like that. There was a few times where she did win big money. And she was happy with that.
What's the max you win on a bingo, though? I mean, like, is it like what they all have, like, I guess, put in a pot or something? I mean, I don't know how that goes, but
I want to say that's what they do. They would have like different cash prices. I think the most my mom won was like $200 or $300. something like that. I don't think they're like big. I don't know. They may have like up to $1,000 cash prizes or whatever, depending on how many games you play. I've never really been to a bingo hall, but it's something like that. And I think you got to pay out. I think at the time it was like a dollar a card or something. I can't remember, because she would ask ask my dad, hey, give me about $20 for bingo. She would go and buy some cards and play off of that kind of thing. You would buy a booklet or whatever, and then you sit there for like 3 or 4 hours playing, and then you're like, okay, come pick me up around 9 o'clock. That was always a thing back in the 80s and the 90s, when they became a big thing. That was a big thing for a lot of women. It's like, I want to play bingo. Let's just go out and play bingo somewhere, So she liked doing that. She liked doing crossword puzzles, word searches, different activity books, stuff like that, keep her occupied. I know one thing, when it came to entertainment, she the movies she liked watching, she was real big into horror movies. She loved horror movies. I guess that's where my taste of horror comes in at, because I was like 4 or 5 years old watching horror movies. Like some of them scared me around that time. I was terrified to watch certain ones, but I did watch a lot of good horror movies back in the day. Like today, parents today are like, I don't want my kids watching that garbage. It'll scare the fuck out of them. Like, bitch, I was 4 years old when I was watching Hellraiser. I was watching shit like
Chucky. I was scared of that damn doll at one point in my life.
Yeah, I watched him too. The only one that really truly scared me was Halloween. For whatever reason, it was just Michael Myers' mask. It was just like
that. You could tell. I mean, let's be realistic on Halloween, though.
Yeah.
Like anybody could dress up like that. I mean, yeah, it's a movie, but still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the real chances of him not dying because whatever?
Exactly.
It's really slim. They are not even non-existent, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you shoot a man in the head or chest in a certain area, you're dead.
Pretty much, yeah. I think like the scariest aspect for a movie like that is like it's not really about the mask. Like when you see the mask, and you hear the words, terms boogeyman, the boogeyman's coming for you, and it's just a blank, expressionless face. It's a mask, but it's all about who's behind the mask. And you know the name, it's a person, but this person gets stabbed in the neck, gets shot in the face, and it keeps coming back for more and more and more, And I don't know, maybe it was just something about movie magic. That's what it is, man. It was all movie magic, how John Carpenter infused the atmosphere in a movie, with the serial killer. And it's the setting, the environment. It's what made it terrifying. That's why Halloween is still one of the true top kings of horror movies nowadays when it comes to the slasher genre. You have movies before then like Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Black Christmas. But I think Halloween brought it more to the forefront of audiences.
Now, which Halloween you talking about? Because I like the Rob Zombie one better.
The original, the 1978 one.
I like Rob Zombies. I'm sorry, Rob Zombie just took it out of the park with that one. Now
it was all right for what it was. Yeah.
Like, that's my opinion on it. I like how he had Mal McDonald on there.
Yeah.
And how like most of the cast members were still in it and stuff like that. Like all the Devil Rejects crew and with Danny Trejo, even though.
Yeah.
He's a Democrat, but it's still a pretty damn good movie.
It was for what it was. Yeah, because I enjoyed the first one. It's his imagery take on the franchise. But when Halloween 2 came out, when his sequel came out, that it was just nonsense of garbage to me. Like I did not care. I think that is like out of every movie in that franchise, Rob Zombie's H2 is the absolute worst. It's like at the very bottom. I didn't
even see that one yet.
Oh, don't waste your time. It's nonsensical. It's very confusing.
It's that bad.
It is. Like there's even a scene in there where you hear Michael speak, and the only thing he says is "die." That's it. It's like Michael's supposed to be the silent, brutal serial killer, And he comes out and he's like, okay, die. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, But I went and saw that in the theaters with my ex. And the one biggest thing I remember out of that experience was it was during the beginning scene. Like, when you see Halloween 2, the 1981 Halloween 2 and H2, and then you got Halloween Kills. All three of those movies, which are a sequel to something, they all take place in a hospital. And that was something I took notice too. Like, even with Halloween Kills, most of it takes place during the hospital. Laurie Strode's in the hospital for the most part. And I've made it clear, when I was reviewing the movie a while back, I'm like, it takes place in the hospital, but Michael, he never comes anywhere near the hospital. He's performing all these kills back in Haddonfield. He's committing all these murders back in Haddonfield, and everybody at the hospital is waiting for him and shit. And it's like he never stepped foot near the goddamn hospital. But these three movies, which are a sequel to something, they all take place in the hospital. So H2, the first half hour or so is in the hospital. Michael shows up. He's chasing down Laurie and shit. Just like it was in the original 1981. And I looked down because we were sitting all the way in the back of the theater, and I looked all the way down where the exit was, and I see the door open and these two people come walking through. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And the first one was a woman in a white gown. She comes staggering up the aisle, and then there's this guy behind her dressed as Michael Myers in the exact costume, just slowly chasing her up the aisle. And that was like, so some people thought it was terrifying, but I'm like, oh shit, they're actually doing something like this. Because this is what they used to do back in the 1960s and 70s when you went to a movie theater and you saw like a William Castle production or something that had Vincent Price in it. They would have some kind of interaction with the theater, interaction with the audience, which made the movie more terrifying. Like the movie The Tingler. You would get halfway through the movie and it would just like go to a blank screen, and it's like, attention in the theater, the Tingler, it's loose in your seats. The only way to get it off or scare it away is to scream, that kind of thing. And those kind of interactions with horror movies, I would love to see them bring that back. It's pretty cool to have a gimmick like that, some kind of interaction with the audience to keep them on the edge of their seat. Because when you watch a horror movie nowadays, people get bored by it. People are like, yeah, it wasn't that scary. But I guarantee you, if somebody had a gimmick like that, if they had some kind of interaction in a movie theater to really scare the shit out of you, you would enjoy it a lot more. Like it just like sitting at home on the couch, when your girlfriend or your wife or your kids are just sitting there infused, just like staring at the screen. And then all of a sudden, you make this one sudden jump on them and make them spill the popcorn all over the place and shit. That's the kind of interaction you want to get. You want to scare the shit out of somebody while they're just focused on something like that. That was pretty good. But like I said, my love for horror movies grew, because my mom, she loved horror movies. My mom watched the most obscured horror movies. In her later years, she would watch a lot of sci-fi, and they would have these fucking movies on there like Pteranodon Jaws versus pterodactyl hippopotamus. Those stupid kind of shit, like mutant fucking fish versus mutant fish. There was one called Anaconda versus giant shark or something like that. And I was just standing there. I was standing in the kitchen. I was watching what she was watching on TV, and there was a scene where this plane was just flying over the ocean, right? And everybody's just like happy in the plane. There's this one guy who's nervously sitting by the window, and somebody's like, it's okay, we're only over water, we're all safe. Next thing you know, this giant shark comes leaping out of the fucking water at him, takes a big chunk out of the goddamn plane. Everybody starts fucking screaming. Plane goes down and blows up in the water. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Good Lord.
I'm like, she liked watching it. I don't know if it was comedic for her or whatever. She would sit there and see something like this. She'd be like, Jesus Christ. But she watched a lot of good movies, and there was a lot of movies that have come out, and I have turned her on to, and she's loved them a lot too. So she was always a big fan of horror movies. And I remember one year for her birthday, and I bought them for her too, you know, because she loved movies. You know, she didn't have too many hobbies and all. Like whenever her birthday come around, she would want something, some kind of entertainment or something, some kind of hobby, you know. So I told her, I'll take you down there. We had this place in it was in South Baltimore. It was called Movie Stop. It was a subsidiary spot off of GameStop. It was right next door to GameStop, but they sold movies, new, used.
Blockbuster.
Basically, you don't rent them, you buy them, but they were pretty cheap. They even had new movies, you know, that were like current price and all. But you can get discounted movies, you can get cheap movies for like as low as like $2, that kind of thing. So I told her, I said, pick out as many movies as you want, and I'll buy them for you. And she mostly went to the horror section, and there was a lot of good movies that caught her eye. You know, she picked them out, and I paid for them. You know, she loves horror movies. She loved horror movies. She loved action. My granddaddy, he loved action. He was big into action and comedy. Those were the other two genres my mom liked, was action and comedy. She loved a good comedy. She loved a good action movie. Her favorite man out there, her favorite action man of all time was Steven Seagal. She loved Steven Seagal. She had most of the movies. I like Steven Seagal. Every movie that she's seen that he was in, I loved it as well. You know, Above the Law, Out for Justice, Hard to Kill, and Deadly Ground, all that stuff. Some of those movies may have been bad in a sense, but I enjoyed them. My mom loved them. She loved Steven Seagal. We had a whole bunch of movies that were on VHS. You know, some of them were my dad's. You know, my dad liked movies like Death Wish, RoboCop, that kind of thing. Those were movies that I watched too growing up. But, you know, I want to say a majority of our VHS cabinet was filled with movies that were all hers. You know, she has some drama, you know, like Dirty Dancing and shit. Then there was a lot of comedy and a lot of horror, some action, you know, that kind of thing. So, like, growing up, like, when I was, like, 5 years old and I was looking for something to watch, you know, like, my mom would always sit out in the living room, you know, she'd watch TV or she'd be crocheting or something like that. And in my bedroom, I had a TV. I didn't have no VCR. I had a TV. I had one of those black and white 13-inch TVs, you know, where you had to turn the fucking dial and shit. Okay, I just got distracted there for a second. But yeah, I had a 13-inch black and white TV with the two turn knobs, one for like channels 2 to 13, and then the second one was like 14 to 99, that kind of thing. It's like dunk, 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 dunk. You know, that's all I had. Rabbit ear antenna. That's the kind of TV I had. You know, when throughout the house, you know, like in my parents' bedroom and the living room, I had cable TV, and they both have VCR. So I'm like, you know what? If there's nothing on cable TV, I'll just go through the you know, the VHS cabinet and just find something to watch. You know, I'm 5 years old. I'm watching movies like Clown House, Terminator, RoboCop, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, you know, one time in somewhat future, when I turned a teenager, my dad had a Playboy VHS in there.
Nice.
That was like right in there too. It's like it wasn't in Dad's stash or anything. It was a VHS right there in the VHS cabinet. It said Playboy Centerfolds. And I'm, you know, you're a teenager and you're looking for some. You know, you know how teenagers are when they hit puberty and shit like that. Like back in the day, right. Teenagers had magazines and shit, you know, and when you go through your dad's stash of pornos, and it's like that's the only porno he really had was Playboy Centerfolds and shit. You know, he had a bunch of magazines too, but they were tucked away in a drawer. That fucking drawer was hard to open. It was heavy as shit too.
Good luck getting into this, buddy.
Yeah. Like nowadays, kids have Pornhub and X Hamster and all these fucking websites out there. I'm like, that's nice, son. Back in the day, I had Daddy's Playboys. So try sitting there whacking your meat with one hand and while holding the goddamn magazine up with the other. That or pin it to the wall, that kind of thing, you know? It was always something. But yeah, you know, my mom, she's probably listening now. She's probably, you fucking what?
Your ass.
Kids will be kids, you know? But yeah, she loved movies. She had a lot of movies. When it came to music, she listened to a lot of music. She once had a CD player that had a built-in FM AM radio to it. You could switch between CD and FM. Like every Saturday night, she tuned to was it Mix 106.5. They had a disco thing on there. She loved disco. She was born in the '60s, but she had a love for a lot of '70s and '80s music. That was her thing, '70s and '80s music. Maybe a little bit of the '60s, because my dad, he's old school. He listens to stuff from the '50s on up through some of the '80s. That's how I am. I'm open to a lot of different music from different decades that I still listen to today. It's always something that bounces off of. You bounce off your parents when you listen to certain things. So it's like I still listen to like Chubby Checker, Chuck Berry, Beach Boys, that kind of thing. And a certain love for certain music that you grow up on. Like some kids out there, if their parents listen to country, they listen to country. Or maybe if you're kind of rebellious, mom and dad are listening to the Eagles and Doobie Brothers, and you're sitting there listening to Korn and Metallica and shit, and your parents are like, what the fuck you listening to? And then you're like, what the fuck you listening to? That kind of thing. I was never any of that though, luckily. I was like, I listened to it. It was something that, grew on me. I liked it, just like, with my mom. There was some music that I turned her on to and she liked, if it had a certain tone to it. There was like some hip hop, that my ex from high school, we listened to, and my mom would end up liking it and all, some soft hip hop, like if it was something like TLC or Destiny's Child or something like that, you could tell she likes it when she starts, moving her body in a certain way, she's just sitting there, it's like she's grooving to it, and what was it? I lost the train of thought. There was certain songs that she like. Oh, there was one that I knew was one of her top favorite, and she knew I listened to Metallica back in the day, and she knew about Metallica because I always mentioned it.
That's when Metallica was really good back in the day, not now, not today's Metallica.
Yeah. I acquired Metallica's album. I think it was Load that had the song on it. Yeah, I think it was Load.
Is that the one that has Fuel?
Yeah, I believe so. Hold on, let me look that up here. Now I get those two albums confused. Load and Reload.
It's Load and Reload.
Yeah, let me see here. Metallica. I'm gonna pull that up.
I think Load was the one that had Fuel. Unless I'm thinking of Reloaded.
Let's see. Load had no. That was on Reload. Reload had Fuel. But Load.
I know Memory Remains.
Yeah, Memory Remains. Yeah, that's all on Reload. Load had a lot of good songs to it too, and there was a song on there, Mama Said. And this was probably the first and only song that Metallica did that had a country tone to it. It was more country than it was rock. And James Hetfield, the lead singer, he wrote that song and he dedicated it to his mom, who passed away when he was growing up. He was real young when his mom died. And he wrote that song, he dedicated it to her and he put it on the album. And that was the one song my mom loved from them, because it's not heavy, but it's got that country sound to it. Yeah, but she loved it, and that was one that I kind of dedicated to her, around the time that she passed away too. I think that's one of the songs that it's worth a listen to. If you're somebody out there who doesn't like Metallica, but you've heard of them, look up the song Mama Said. There's nothing heavy. There's nothing heavy with it. It's like a country song. That's all it is. It's something that he did. This album, it was a really good album. It really was. A lot of hard rock, heavy metal too.
Made a lot of number one hits on it, if I remember correctly.
It did. It actually, reading here, it was certified 5 times platinum by the RIAA and sold for shipping 5 million copies in the U.S. And there were 4 singles off that album: "Until It Sleeps," "Hero of the Day," "Mama Said," and "King Nothing." Yeah, this yeah. This album, it has different genres to it: hard rock, heavy metal, country rock, and southern rock. So yeah, Mama Said it's one of those songs that definitely fits, I would say it would definitely fit the tone of today. I would play it, but, I don't want to end up,
Yeah, get
Twitch.
copy struck.
Well, it won't be really a copyright struck. Like with YouTube, they'll just say, "Oh, you can't monetize your stream." I'm like, "Well, I can't monetize anything anyways."
No, number Metallica had a lawsuit.
Well, that was a lawsuit for Napster,
Yeah, but I
because
think it's on all platforms now. So
well, the thing is with Metallica, like, Napster broke open the door for a lot of digitalized music, so it's like they can't really do much with it now. Like back then, they didn't even know their music was being shared, P2P, was being downloaded, illegally. They didn't know anything about it. And then when the way they found out about it is when the soundtrack for Mission Impossible 2 came out, and their song I Disappear, which was on that album, and they heard it playing on radio one day, and they're like, how the hell did this song get out before we even had a chance to release it? And then they found out that somebody had the album and they were ripping it to their computer and sharing it online. That's when that whole thing went down. But today's standards, they wouldn't file a copyright suit against you if you played it live on air. They wouldn't do that. That's just a precaution that a lot of, like YouTube or Twitch, it's a precaution that they take, for playing somebody else's copyright music unless you have special permissions for it and that kind of thing. With YouTube, they'll just send me a thing stating, "Oh, this is not a copyright strike. It's just to let you know that your content can't be monetized because there's copyrighted material in it." And I'm like, okay, I don't monetize or make money off of this shit anyway, so it is what it is. Whereas on Twitch, they just mute a certain section of the stream, but you could always dispute that. There's always ways of disputing it, but it takes days to do, so it's like, fuck it, whatever, So I don't feel like going through all that mess of doing that. But yeah, if you guys look it up, Mama Said from Metallica, it's definitely a good song. I did dedicate it to my mom. My mom, she, like I said, she passed away back in 2016, and 2016 was a hard year for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was every year is a hard year for everybody, but something like that, like I said, I was so heavy into YouTube, I was doing YouTube videos left and right and shit, and it just kept my mind off a lot of that stuff. That's when I met you. I met you the spring of 2016. The
yeah, a lot of shit going on that time.
Yeah, the fucking time of Hubbard, the fucking
era of Hubbard.
The era of Hubbard, yeah, that kind of thing, But yeah, that year, like I said, it just took my mind off a lot of things, and it definitely kept me straight. So I want to say, rest in peace to my mom out there. I know she's listening. We got her ashes in the house, so she's probably standing right next to me, because we have been seeing some weird shit around here. A lot, we'll hear things and we'll see things. So she's definitely making her presence known. But yeah, that's like I said, there's a lot of things that, my mom was into. And then, up until, the time where she ended up going in the hospital, she was in the hospital for, 7 months, 8 months. And she had, what the hell? I can't even think of it right now. My dad had it last year. So my dad went in the hospital before, but, they caught his in time. With my mom's, that disease, that deadly disease, it spread through her body. They got to it a little too late. Because they severed the leg where a lot of the infection was, but it was already too late. It done spread through her organs slowly, spread through her bloodstream, and over a course of a few months, her organs just started shutting down slowly but surely. And I think the one thing that kind of hurts a little bit, it still hurts my daughter to this day. She never got to really say goodbye to my mom, because they didn't want, any children in there, because they didn't want to risk, children getting in, any diseases or whatever. She never really got to say goodbye to, her grandma. She still misses her to this day. So it does have a grand effect on her. So I would say, like, I know a lot of people out there, they'll take their parents for granted, at times, when something happens. I will say, don't never take your parents for granted. Love your parents for who they are. You grew up with them. They raised you.
You only got one mama.
Yeah, you got one mama, you got one dad.
Unless you got a parents that are divorced, then that's a different answer. But
Yeah. But yeah, you'll always have one mama out there, And I think, whether you're male, female, yes, I'm going to use those fucking terms because if you're using pronouns, you're a fucking retard. But I would say, if you're a man, woman, boy, girl, whatever, it's pure fact. I would say you only have one mom out there, and I think moms should get the most love. I know dad is the one that's the contributor to passing on the seed, and there's a lot of dads that are still out there, that still stick around and help raise a child, this and that. But moms should get a lot of dedication. They should get a lot of praise, for what they do. There's a lot of single moms out there that struggle, but they make it. Like single moms. They have their children. They're struggling raising their child, being there for her child, putting their children through school while they're working 1 or 2 or 3 jobs to, keep the house over their heads, that kind of stuff. It's a real struggle for a lot of women out there, but those are your true dedicated moms, not these moms. And Mel and I were talking about this recently because we were talking about the thing with abortion, the Roe versus Wade shit and all that thing's going on.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into that and all, but it's like she mentioned, there's a lot of these young girls out there that have these kids. They end up getting pregnant, and it's one thing, like
I think what the problem with it is, without getting too deep, is they don't know what it means.
They don't.
And people don't read the damn bill for one, so they want to overreact.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, hey, you want to overreact? Go ahead, be dumb, whatever.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's not like it's your choice, whatever you want to do. But like I said, I'm pro-life. I'm not going down. I'm not going to debate it against anybody, anything like that. But I'm not going to sit here and gospel you. But you want to go ruin your life? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember, there's consequence to everything.
Oh yes, there is.
So
it's like, look at all these teen girls out there.
That's what's the main problem with these people today. They don't read the damn bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then they think they know it all.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, you want to play know it all? Well, when I'm right and you're wrong, then come knock on my door.
Yeah, that's like they said. Like, what man should have an opinion in a woman's body over a woman's body? Just like, that's what the government's trying to do. The government is trying to get involved with, the kids that you have. Should you have them? Should you not have? And it's always a democratic thing. And I'm not trying to get too political. I say, today's not a political, topic and all, but, Democrats is one thing, they're the ones that are like, trying to control your body, but, it's a woman's choice, to have that child or not. And a lot of these young adults, they don't have the mindset or the responsibility to raise a child, because look at a lot of these young adults out there, a lot of these young teenagers that are engaging in sex. It's fine. Your hormones are changing. You're becoming curious about your sexuality, about your body, and you're starting to grow these feelings for other people. Whether you're gay or straight. If you're going to love another woman or if you're going to love another man, well, today's not a man's day, it's a woman's day. But, if you're going to love a man, engage with that, or a woman or whatever, you feel like you're safe. But the thing is, when you're having sex at a young age, you should protect yourself. That's why they have condoms. That's why condoms are a thing. That's why contraceptives are a thing. There's a lot of girls out there that probably don't know the term raw dog, but I'm pretty sure if they learn it, they'd be like, I want to raw dog this shit. I'm like, yeah, is your man going to pull out? Like a lot of these guys out there, they don't pull out. They just empty their fucking nut inside of you and then leave. Like, I want to say 8 out of every 10 guys out there that you engage with that do that, they want no responsibility of having a child. You know, they look at you as a one-time fuck, that's it. And then sometime down the road, they're like, oh, I'm your father? No, the fuck I'm not. You know, that kind of, it's a typical thing. Like, you know, where I live, you know, Maryland's one of those fucking states that get like that, you know? And then you got these moms out there that are like, what am I supposed to do? I'm pregnant. My life is over. Like, your life is not over. Your life is beginning. Now,
it's beginning. It may be hard, but it will all come together.
Exactly. Like, if you get pregnant at the age of 15 or 16, now I know there's parents out there that, you know, they look down on you and say, you what? You got pregnant? I'm disowning you, that kind of thing. You know, those kind of parents can show either tough love, or they can sit there and say, well, I'm not raising your child for you. You know, that's your responsibility. But the thing is, are you really throwing your life away? You got to dedicate yourself, but it does take help. It does take help. All you got to do is reach out. You know, don't be scared to reach out to somebody for help. You know, because you made the choice. You ended up laying with that man. You ended up with his dick dick inside of you. You know, you chose to be in that position. You make these choices. Now, when you're in that position, you have a choice. Pull the fuck out. Put something in there, you know, to cover it up, or don't have it at all. You know, it's these young teenagers. That's their choice. You know, it's their decision. You know, like a parent can't sit there and say, don't have sex, don't have sex. It's like, well, kids will be kids. But if we don't teach these kids about safe sex, you know, where are they going to learn it from? You know, they're trying to teach that shit in schools as early as kindergarten. And a 6-year-old should not be learning about sex. I mean, yeah, they may watch a fucking R-rated movie that has look, mommy, titties. You know, you may have something like that, but no kid, no 6, 7, 8-year-old should be having sex because the school said so. You know, it's something that comes with puberty. When puberty strikes, and you start to, you know, grow those emotions, grow those feelings, you know, within you, that kind of thing. But, you know, these young girls, they have kids, you know, they get quote unquote accidentally pregnant, and then they don't know what to do. They either go for an abortion, or try to, you know, go somewhere where it's like, okay, mom, I want an abortion. Or if they're afraid of what mom may say or dad may say, they may go behind their back and find somebody and say, hey, how can I have an abortion? I got pregnant by accident last night. You know what they used to do? And I think I still say it's a myth. I mean, it may have happened back in the day, you know, like, hey, here's a coat hanger, learn how to use it. You know, oh, yeah?
Not the old coat hanger.
Oh, we got plastic coat hangers. Nah, I'm pretty sure mom still has a wire one in there somewhere. Wire, a coat hanger, abortions. But it's like, you know, when you want an abortion, you're like, oh, I got pregnant by accident. I didn't mean to get pregnant. Can I abort this thing? Like, and a lot of these anti-abortionists will be like, you're killing a life. You're killing a life. I'm like, well, it's an innocent child who made an innocent mistake, you know? And I don't want to call it a mistake, but it's like, these kids today, they engage in sexual activity, but they don't follow the rules per se. You know, it's like when you're having sex at a young age, wrap it, stuff it, or don't have it at all. You know, that's what should happen. But a young adult has a child that early. Now it's up to them, because now they have these strong emotional feelings with themselves. Do I have it and give birth to this life, or do I kill this life off and feel bad for it for the rest of my life? That kind of thing, you know? It's something that a man would never understand. It's a deep emotion that women have, you know, because you have a life that's building inside of you, and you have that guilt of killing it off. But then there's some girls out there, and this has happened, you know, for many decades. This has been a true story. You know, there's been many teenagers, you know, like especially like prom night, you know, where they're pregnant and their baby's due. They would end up going to the bathroom, giving birth in the toilet, and just leaving it in the garbage can.
When did Roe versus Wade take place?
Let me look that
Wasn't
up.
that in the 60s or something?
I have no idea. When did Roe versus Wade become law? Yeah, my browser can fucking. Let's see.
I was always curious of when that started because they never. I mean, some of that stuff they didn't even teach you half the stuff in school.
It was
Which
a
I had a discussion with about somebody about that stuff too. With
yeah.
school systems should be teaching and shit. They don't teach you all that kind of
Yeah, I know. They leave that
stuff.
stuff out. They rather teach you to become pregnant and shit than teach you something about this.
I mean, look. I mean, hey, listen. I'm not trying to get politic or anything.
Yeah.
But if teachers are having sex with students these days, I wish it would happen to me back in my day. All right, half
A lot
the
of
teachers I
us.
see on the news, I'm like, come on now.
It's a lot of us. That's
I'm like, damn, where the hell school was that? I wish I'd have went to that school.
I know. What was I? I was in ninth grade, I think it was. Ninth grade, I had a health class. I remember her name, Miss Sweeney. Very cute teacher, back
Oh
then.
man, I had a Schweitzer was mine, man. Everybody in my school with Miss Schweitzer, the science teacher,
Uh-huh.
they all wanted to come. They all wanted for her to come to their house. It was freaking like hot damn.
I was just sitting there like, yeah, we had some of these hot teachers back in the day, and it's like, well,
And
goddamn.
it's like now all these other teachers coming out here having sex with students. I'm like, geez, Pete. I'm like, man, I wish I was out like you back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, what idiot's gonna go tell their teacher and their parents about that? I'd be going there with a smile face on my face.
I'd be like, I'm not going to tell.
Why are you so happy for? Oh, nothing.
I just had a good day in school.
Exactly. I got an A on my test.
Lunchtime come around.
I may not be no biologist, but I found out what really biology really was back in them days.
Lunchtime come around, you're a half hour late, and your friends are like, well, how come you late? I just got some nookie.
Yeah, I learned some real biology in person.
Oh, yeah. I just got a real sex education.
Real fast.
What was the sex ed? How to see how long I can stay hard and how long I can hold it in.
I've learned you could turn into a pretzel.
How deep you go? Well, did you hear any screaming coming from the classroom? It's always that kind of thing.
Nowadays, I guess they're afraid that, I mean, I think it's crazy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's wrong, but don't get me wrong. I wish I was some of them students back in them damn days, man. I wouldn't be telling a fucking single word. Oh, yeah, you want to send me some nudes? Sure thing. All right. Ain't got to go to Pornhub no more. It's done.
Oh, shit. But yeah, Roe versus Wade was a landmark legal decision issued January 22nd, 1973. In
73.
In which the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a Texas statute banning abortion, effectively legalizing it. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, it was in.
I didn't know when it started. I knew it had to be around 60 or 70 or something like that because I'm like, something don't make right sense here why they're so uptight about it all of a sudden now.
Yeah, no, I think what is it? They're trying to legalize it and get rid of.
No, what they're trying to do, which is technically a good thing, that leave it up to the states instead of the government.
Yeah.
Which means us taxpayers wouldn't have to fund it. The state would have to fund it.
Yeah, of course. Take it out of our fucking taxes, raise everything for that kind of shit.
Yeah, you're already going to get inflation already up to 25, 30% by the time this year's over with anyway, so you might as well forget talking about it.
Pretty much.
I mean, we're already out near 20%. We're about 3% below 20%, which would be the highest in the whole United States of America if it gets up that high, if I recall. Because right now, I think we're set at the record of 1980-something.
Yeah.
Or 76. Back in, what's his name? I don't even remember who the hell that president was. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Who was it? Carter. That's it is.
Carter, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
But anyhow, back to our good conversation about,
Yeah, all these teen girls, like I said, that's been happening for so many years, so many decades. Girls will end up having a kid, but they would end up, dumping them in the trash somewhere, And of course, forensic stuff like that. You end up finding out who the mother is and shit after so many years and all.
Right.
But it's those parents, those mothers. They can either feel real bad for them, or they could just have
Mhm.
no feeling for it at all. And then the child would come out, like 10, 20 years down the road and be like, "Mama, why didn't you keep me?" That kind of thing. It's something like when a child grows up and they're being told, "Well, you were left in a trash can. Your mom didn't care about you, but we took you in." Just think about it, how much harm that is on a child right there. It's bad enough dad left town. Dad don't know that you exist, or dad didn't want you, but to not have your mom want you, your mom just dumps you like that. That's really got to hurt. That's why, like, the whole thing with abortion it's a very touchy subject, and I know a lot
I
of
mean,
people.
it really is, but if you really honestly look at it,
Yeah.
I I mean, read the law before you jump on somebody's ass. I mean, I've seen a lot of fights over this. It shouldn't be really a fight. It's only a person saying what they want
Yeah.
as an opinion. Like, if Mike has said, "Oh, I'm just using you as an example,
Yeah.
Mike, because I know you're pro-life," but I'm saying, say if Mike like says he's like anti-life or whatever, not pro-life, but the opposite of pro. Um, and I'm pro-life, which I am. That's my opinion. And he said, "Oh no, you're wrong for this." Like, dude, you have your opinion about something. I have my opinion about something. And that's what. And if this whole thing, and again, Mike, if you read between the lines, and I'm not trying to get real political. I mean,
I
like
know.
everything we talk about now, you can't really have a good conversation without something about at least 2% or less with a little bit of politics in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But um, the whole bill is about division.
Yep.
Look at it. Look at it between the lines. What's it causing? Division between people with their opinions. Oh, okay. Well, shit, we'll just throw this out here. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good thing, but also it's causing a more of a ruckus, just like anything else. Anything you see, and now they're going to go attack churches, which, oh Lord have mercy. I hate to be that person standing outside of a church with that. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Nope, 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 nope. Might as well just pack your bags between your legs and start digging 6 feet deep.
Yep. Oh shit.
But no, if you honestly look at it, it's a thing also to cause division. And that's what the leak was about. I'm guaranteeing you it. Because they were going to do it anyways. I mean, it's the Supreme Court. They have pretty much a say to an extent, but you ain't going to change their minds. I'm telling you that right now. This ain't like
Hmm.
the Senate and and this ain't like the House and the Senate. This is a totally different ball game.
Exactly. Ah, shit.
Sorry we keep putting politics in, but it's like
No,
every
that's
time you
all
turn
right.
around and do something, it's freaking retarded. It's like you can't even speak without saying something political.
Well, it does kind of fit the agenda today. Like I said, we're talking about young moms and abortion and all, and then abortion is so much of a political thing right now. You got people fighting. Have your kids or don't have them or whatever. That kind of thing, and then the government gets involved. It's like the government should never have a say in whether or not you have a child. Just like when you have sex with a man, when you have sex with a man, that man should also have a voice and opinion in it. But at the same time, a man shouldn't just sit there and be like, have the abortion, like we can't afford to have this kid, what are we gonna, what are our friends gonna say, what are our parents gonna say, that kind of thing, like it's all about what the mother wants and how the mother feels, that kind of thing. And
I mean, it's like I say, if you do it, you're going to most likely regret it.
I'll take
I'm
over,
just
Mike,
telling
for
you
a
that.
second. I gotta take care of something real quick.
But yeah, I mean, mamas out there, they don't. There's a lot of things that they don't tell you out there about it, but there's a lot of it affects the insides of you and everything from what I've understood. I've watched videos on it, and it's like, geez, if Pete, how could somebody go through all that? Like, it's crazy. But Yeah, oh, what was I gonna say? But yeah,
Yeah.
Mother's Day is about loving your mom. I mean, I love my mom and all that. You only get one mom in life. Just if you even if you ever disagree with your mom, you should at least say, look, I don't agree, but you should never hate your mom, no matter what you are. You may get upset, and that happens. Everybody gets upset every once in a while, which
Exactly.
is totally normal. Everybody has those arguments, whether they don't want to believe them or not.
Mm-hmm. You gotta,
So,
yeah, because you gotta say to these kids out there, like, okay,
I mean, if you look at today's society, I mean, again, here we go. You can't say something without trying to put something in between it. But uh, it's just crazy how now, again, the government's trying to take control of family, and you can't have that.
mm-hmm,
But the thing about it is you have a choice in life, and let me tell you about them choices. I wish I would have paid attention in school. I would have done a lot more things with my parents, like my dad, for an example, because he passed of leukemia.
ooh,
I wish I would have done that. But you know what? Nope. I was young and just did my own thing. And, there's days I do regret it. But, what can I do now except make my life to try to do better for myself than anything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
But I
all right,
also,
Mike, you're back. You're in control.
you're good. But yeah, I would also say like to a lot of you kids out there, like I know those kids that are like, well, I don't really know who my mom is. A lot of these foster kids, kids that have these
And that's the
stepmoms.
ones who get infected a lot.
Yeah,
There's the ones that really get really badly effective.
exactly. Like, you start questioning like who's my mom? Well, who gave birth to me? The only mom
Right.
that you know of for so many years, for so long is the one who's raised you. Like when you ask a question like that, like there's nothing wrong with that kind of question. If you're a foster child and you don't know, because you're in a home and they're not your family and you're told they're not your family for so many years. There's so many mixed emotions that come out of that. Like let's say you get fostered at the age of 1. You don't know much. You're a toddler, you're an infant, and you got this foster family who raises you for so many years, and then they come out when you're a teenager and they say, well, you were fostered and we adopted you and we raised you. I
And I'm
mean,
telling you right now, I mean,
yeah,
there's people that, have like PTSD. I know somebody that has that, and they've been fostered out because their mother gave them up, and it's pretty
yeah,
freaking sad.
yeah, I know
It's
that's
like,
another sad
and
thing.
the thing about it is, I get it, you know, about
It
the foster
is,
thing,
it
but
is,
you gotta not protect them 100%. You gotta also let them live a life.
yeah,
Let them learn. Just like people would say, let kids be kids.
mm-hmm,
And mamas be mamas. I mean, the one mama thing, and this goes with Mother's Day. The one mother thing I seen on TV live was when Anderson Cooper was trying to interview somebody, not or no, it was on Anderson Cooper, I think it was. And that boy in Baltimore got his ass beat from his mama. Now that's
I
a good
remember that.
mama right there. That's
Yeah.
the Mama of the Year award.
Yeah,
I
that was
remember that
during
shit.
the Freddie Gray riots. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was out there rioting, and she come up there and whooped his fucking. What the fuck you doing? She whooped
that
the
is
fuck out
Mother
of
of the Year award.
that's how a mother should be. Like when their child gets out of line like that, shit,
You discipline them.
get a flip flop or a sandal or a shoe or something and beat the fuck out of them. Because when you do
She
something
beat
like
his
that,
ass with a belt, man. I remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, there's kids that get out of
What
line
the
like
hell?
that.
You supposed to be in school. Bam.
Yeah. Those are your good mamas right there. Like you want to sit there and say, "Oh, my mom abused me." Like your mom
Your
is
mama didn't
teaching
abuse you
you
shit. Now your
morals.
mama abusing your ass now.
Yeah, your mom's teaching you morals and responsibility, and you're out here committing crimes and shit. That was always thing,
Yeah,
you would see
how's
those
that
memes out
working
there.
for you?
Yeah, You would see those memes and videos out there, you know, where mom comes in with the belt or the fucking sandal or some shit and whoop your ass.
Oh yeah, that shit's hilarious. I mean, there's the funny memes. I mean, come on.
That's what you call tough
Can't
love.
get it better than that.
That's what you call tough love right there. But yeah,
That's just tough, extra tough love.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Flip-flop edition.
That's even like what you were saying with you know, moms giving up children at a certain age. Like, yeah, there's also a lot of mothers out there where they feel like life has been so difficult for them per se, and they just up and leave, or they give their children up for adoption and leave, and there's always some kind of excuse behind it. You know, it's like it's you would want to think there's something that you want to feel sorry for them about, like, I can't afford to raise, you know, my child, I have to give her up so I can. And it's like, at that point, are you even truly a mother, you know, for doing that? Like, you know, if you couldn't afford to have a child at that point, you should have never had children to begin with, you know. And then at some point you want to come back into their life, that kind of thing. And that kind of scenario has been in so many movies and TV shows out there, and I'm pretty sure it's also happened in reality too. Like, for instance, and I know this is with particular following like Father's Day subject, but look at the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where I think it's like season 3 or 4. After so many years, you know, Will's dad comes back into his life out of nowhere, and he don't know how to percept that. You know, he's like, you know, dad left mom, but my dad's here now, and he's promising big things. You know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You know, and of course, you know, Uncle Phil, he feels very strong against it because he's like, you know, what's going to happen when you leave him again? You know, leave him heartbroken like that on the side of the road again. Like, what are you going to do? You know, how are you going to percept that kind of thing, you know? And Uncle Phil was right about the whole thing, even though Will saw it as a selfish thing because he figured, you know, my dad's back. My dad's here to make things right. You know, he wants to catch up with me. But then at the end of the show, you know, dad's going to leave out of town. You know, he's like, oh, I know he'll understand. You know, we were supposed to do things this summer, you know, hit the road together, but something came up and I got to hit the road, you know, and then, you know, that was a heartbreaking episode for him. You know, that was one of the most heartbreaking episodes for anybody to watch because that kind of thing does happen in reality. And it's not just, you know, fathers it happens to, it's mothers too. You know, there's mothers out there that will, you know, leave their children because, quote unquote, life got too hard for them. Let me get back, you know, let me have somebody raise my child for me so I can get myself, you know, back in line. But it's like, it's not about you. This is about a life that you decided to have. You decided to have this child. You're supposed to be there for this child no matter what. Yeah, things get hard, but that's the way life is. That's the gamble we take when we have kids, you know, and that's the life that God gives us, you know, and we have to live that life. We have to better it, you know, for our children. You know, you get stronger over time. If you're too weak to raise your child, if you're too weak to a certain point where you feel like you shouldn't have had them, then maybe you shouldn't have had children. You know, it's like there's certain scenarios out there where, you know, you could look at a mother, look at a father and be like, I wish I never got with you. I've done that quite a few times with my ex. You know, my ex, she was one of the most terrible people I've ever spent my life with, you know, and I looked at her several times.
Most of our exes like that. I mean, I'm talking about ex-wives. I mean, I didn't even like my ex-wife. I'm gonna be honest with you on that.
Oh,
I can't say I hate her and all that, but I mean, I
don't
do
doubt
not.
I don't doubt
I do
that at
not
all.
like my ex-wife one bit.
Yeah, that's like mine. Yeah.
If I could go back in time, I would have changed. I would have changed things. Trust me.
Yeah, trust me. I said the exact same thing to her too. You know, I wish I could go back and just be like, tell my younger self, don't get involved. But then you look at it like, look at how
Red
so
flag.
much. Yeah. But then it's like when you look at your child and it's like, can you really say something like that? Because, you know, you have such a wonderful child in your life.
You were blessed with a child, whether, I mean, I don't even know how long you was with your wife. I forgot. What was it, like 5, 10 months, 5, 10 years?
I got with her back in 2008. Split
So
happened
it's
back
about almost
8 or 9 years,
8 or 9 years.
something like that. Yeah, but that whole
I mean,
thing.
within them 8 or 9 years, you had a nice, beautiful kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And before anybody labels me about something, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't none of that bullshit. I'm just saying he has a nice kid that's smart, intelligent.
Hold on a second.
That's what that
Yeah,
means
take over for a
before
second.
somebody starts jumping guns. But yeah, I'll take over. But yeah, I mean, you gotta think of it certain ways like that. I mean, there's people make mistakes all the time, and it's
Yeah,
not that, I mean, it's just that it's just craziness nowadays. Oh, you look back at yourself like, man, wish I could do things different. Yeah, sure, we're young, dumb, stupid,
yeah,
full of it. But hey,
it happens.
I, it does, and that's the thing about things that things happen, and then you can go, you could pray about it, say, hey Lord, what do I do? I think I kind of screwed up, but in reality, you got rid of something, but you gained something in the process.
Yep.
You gained a beautiful little girl and all that other mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And the same goes for, a lot of mothers. Like, Mel, she's in roughly the same boat. Her ex
mhm.
is married to somebody else, but he was probably worse than what my ex was and all. But, it's she just has to look at her child. She looks at Avery and say, my God, like, even though I was in that relationship for so long, just like, with me and my ex, but you gain something special out of that. And it's like,
y'all beat me. That's all I can say. I can't. Mine's hardly existent, but y'all keep y'all 6, 7, 8 years intact. All right. I had 6 months, and I had to wait 2 years for my divorce to end. All right.
yeah.
6 months. That's not even a full year.
Yeah, no, it's a long time. It's an eternity.
I mean, I had a pretty bad marriage. I mean, it was really bad.
Oh, I
To the
imagine.
point, like, if I wasn't, if my spirit wasn't, if my spirit and faith wasn't so, high, I probably would have probably ended up like, what? What's this life for? I feel like shit, etc. Like depression would
Yeah,
have been really low if I didn't have like amazing friends and stuff like that. I mean, it was bad,
exactly.
but so
Yeah, that's like me back in the day. Like my first ex-wife back in 2006. There was a whole lot that went on with that shit. Like I
you
wouldn't.
too.
Yeah,
The hell's wrong with you people trying to copy my ass?
this girl. I
There
went.
must have been some in that fucking water back in '06, because damn.
06 was a bad year.
Yeah, I had mine during a hurricane there. Did you?
Mine. Let's see.
I had a courthouse and a hurricane.
Let's see. Here's how mine went. Okay, so I went to school with this girl. I remember her and all. One of my exes hooked us up, and this was a big mistake too, But my ex, she hooked us up, and I got with her. I want to say end of January, almost early February of 2006. That's when I got my license. I finally got my
Right.
license, and we got together, and there was times, she would spend the night at my house, this kind of thing. We were going out quite a bit, and she was bipolar. I think you said yours was bipolar, wasn't she?
Mine was extreme.
Yeah, yours was like quadpolar.
For real.
Quadpolar. But yeah, mine
If
was.
that's even a freaking word.
but, but yeah, mine was bipolar. And at the time, she was living with her grandmother. Her mom and her stepdad didn't want her moving in with them, because they had issues, they had fights or whatever. So she was living with her grandparents. So at the time, her grandmother was threatening to throw her out over something. And, we got together with my dad, my mom, and all. And we were like, okay, would she be able to move in under certain terms? And he said, okay, well, she got to get a job, pay rent a house, help her rent a house, that kind of thing. I was like, it's a fair thing, it's all fair. So I was like, okay. So over a course of 5 months, 6 months that we were together, she's had 10 jobs and each job has lasted maybe 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days each, because there was always something wrong with her. She always either ended up sick or she didn't feel like going into work. She didn't want to do anything. She was that worthless. But we ended up getting married in May of 2006. And here's what happened. In March...
4 months short.
In March of that year, there was one job that she went to. I took her to that morning. I had just got off. I got off at 7 a.m. I was real tired. I came home. She got ready for work. I took her to work, dropped her off, and I came back home to go to sleep. Well, at the time, living with Dad, my dad's phone next door goes off, and I'm like, this better not be her. I swear to fucking God. And I could hear him through the wall saying, okay, so I'll be there in a little bit. I was like, oh, Christ. She's trying to get out of work again. I better get the fuck to sleep before she comes home. So I'll get to sleep, and I'll wait for her to come in the door, but I ended up sleeping a pretty good much of the day. Like nothing woke me up or whatever. I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's out in the living room or something or whatever, So I want to say 2:30, somewhere around there, comes around, and my dad comes wake me up, and he's like, need you to come out here. We got to talk about something with, her name was Sherry at the time, and we're going to talk about Sherry. I was like, oh, Christ, what the hell's going on now? And he was like, well, she's in Shepherd Pratt. I was like, what the fuck is Shepherd Pratt?
That's what I was just about to say.
He said,
what the hell's that?
He said the Nut House. I was like, what the fuck's she doing there? That's what I want to talk to you about.
Nut House?
I was like, oh, Christ.
Wow.
So...
who put her in there?
Well, I got myself situated. I went out, we sat down, we talked about it, and he said he took her to BWMC, which is the hospital, in Anne Arundel County, and he was going to get her checked in because she said she was sick, she wasn't feeling good on the job, so he would take her to the hospital, that kind of thing. And they admitted her, but at the time they said they didn't have enough beds. Supposedly didn't have enough beds.
Oh, no.
They didn't have a room for her. So they gave her some paper, and they said they were going to transport her to somewhere else. I don't know what happened during this process. My dad don't even know what happened. She signed some kind of paperwork. They got her in an ambulance, and they took her to Shepherd Pratt. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing up there? Apparently she wasn't all there in the head or something. I have no idea. We went up there that night to find the hospital, and we found it. It's like in bumfuck Egypt and fucking Ellicott City, way up there off of a road, which it's something that we covered in Through the Doorway one time, Seven Hills. And I'll cover that in the new podcast. Yeah, I'll cover that in our new podcast when I get started up pretty soon. But yeah,
you and Tom going to do that one?
Nah, Tom's still doing Through the Doorway. Other side's going to be our project for me and you. We'll even have guests in it too. But yeah, Seven Hills, it's a ghostly road, and Shepherd Pratt is like pretty much in the center. Going down the road. It's probably like off the center of the fucking road. So it's a creepy fucking road. I've rode up there quite a few times at night, and it's creepy as fuck. It really is. So she's up there, and we went up and visited her quite a few times. She was in there for nearly 2 weeks. She was in there for like 10, 11 days. And every time we visit her, she's like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And we're like, you can't go home until they deem you okay to go home.
Until your head gets dissected and freaking whatever the hell you got going on that damn thing.
Exactly. Like, we didn't know what the fuck was going on, like she wasn't suicidal or anything, they just put her in there.
Of.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, somebody put her in there for a reason.
They had to have.
Nobody, you just took your ass in for something.
I know she was on medication. She was supposed to take medication, but she was the kind of person that would flush it down the toilet. Even her mom told us, make sure she takes her medication, because she has a habit of hiding it under her tongue and shit, and then going in the bathroom and flushing it. So I think there was a time where she wasn't taking it. Yeah. So I'm thinking she probably did that. So after she got out, and she
All right,
was.
take over real quick. I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
So after she got out, she was on her grandparents' health insurance, and my dad at the time was like, "Okay, I think grandma's insurance is not going to cover her stay at Shepherd Pratt because each day stay was like $2,000 to $3,000 a day, and add that up. Let me see." She was in there for, let me say, 11 days. So 11 days times $3,000 a day. That's $33,000 that the insurance company was going to have to pay out. And my dad figured the problem would have been, what if they only covered a certain percentage of that, and then I would have been stuck paying the rest. So he asked me what my health insurance was through the job that I had, and I had Aetna. And at the time, they said Aetna was the worst to have. So he was like, well, here's what you ought to do. Why don't you push your all's wedding date up to get married early and then get her on your health care plan? That way, if something comes up, I guess in his mind, that's how he thought things were, would have, been, would have worked out. Like, okay, if she was under my health care plan or whatever, it would have covered the rest or whatever, but I don't think that's how that kind of shit works. But that was what was in my dad's mind at the time. So that's why we ended up moving our wedding date up to May. It was May 5th. It was May 5th or May 6th. It was one of those days that we got married. And we did a wedding out of the VFW. And I'm going to wait till Mike gets back to hear this one because that was a hell of an experience right there, too. So yeah, let me go back.
I'm listening.
Oh,
trust
okay.
me. I'm listening. I'm just put myself on mute. But the damn thing, you got married on this May of the 6th.
Yeah. So we got married at a VFW. That's what we could afford. I know her parents wanted to do like a, like a church wedding or whatever, but we didn't have the kind of money for that. So we, and the type of money that I was bringing in, I couldn't afford it. So her parents and grandparents, they put money together, and my parents put some money together too, and we running out the hall at the VFW near us. And, we sent out invitations to family and friends and all that, and we got a DJ for the reception. It was a friend of her mom's who lived across the street. We went over there one night, and we were like, okay, this is the kind of music that we want to play, a little bit for everybody of all ages, that kind of thing, So we picked out a lot of music to play. They did the cake. I forgot where they did the cake at. And then the night before the wedding, we went to the hall, and we had everything set up. We set up all the chairs, we set up the podium, this and that kind of stuff. And then the next day, we went down. We did the wedding, and after that, everybody had to go outside so that we could all get the chairs and tables all set up for the reception, get everything put together. It was like an hour doing all that, So like you can imagine like a VFW wedding, you go in, you have the wedding, usually you would have 2 different rooms or 2 different sections, set up for that kind of thing, the wedding and the reception. But no, everybody had to sit outside for the reception to be set up. And we're standing out there under the sun. And of course, it started raining at one point, but it didn't last very long. We're standing out there, we're, getting hot, roasted, whatever. I'm in a fucking, I'm in a rented fucking suit, tux suit that I'm wearing. And then, the reception's all set up. We can go in, sit down, have our seats. We had the reception. They started playing the music. People were dancing. People were eating, this and that. We had a caterer come in and do the food and shit. So that lasted for a good, 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. And then by the end of the night, everybody was leaving. So me, my newly wife, my first wife was there. Her parents were there, and we had somebody else there. We were all packing everything up. We were cleaning up the trash, folding the tables and chairs, putting them all back, putting them all away, this and that, making sure the hall was cleaned up. And then by the end of the night, their gift to us for our honeymoon was a motel room not too far away from there, the fucking Red Roof Inn. Yeah, I worked there for about 5 years myself, later on. But yeah, the very same Red Roof that I worked at for about 5-6 years. And I would tell the story to the receptionist there too. I was like, yeah, I remember being here back in '06. This is where my honeymoon was. My ex-wife's parents paid
You're
for
definitely a damn copycat. You know that, right?
Yeah. So.
Because you know what my honeymoon was in '06?
What's that?
Freaking hotel in my room.
We're the same. But yeah.
That was by one of our church friends at the time.
But yeah, we had that too. So we were married for, let's see, from May. She left in September or October. She left because her and my mom, they would get into these little arguments from here and there. But it's understandable because my ex, she didn't want to comprehend with a lot of things. She was one of the people who just wanted to lay around and let the husband do all the work for her and shit. Like we had a baby cat. She wanted a baby kitten at one point.
Oh God.
We had the kitten for about we had the kitten for maybe almost a month. She would not do anything with this cat. I mean, she held it a couple times, but she would not play with the cat. The cat always stayed in the cage. She wouldn't let the cat out to run around, use the litter box and whatever. I had to clean up cat piss and cat shit out of the cage. She wouldn't do anything at all.
Are you sure she wasn't possessed?
I don't know. At this point, who knows? But even my mom would get on her about it. And she'd be like, why won't you do anything with this cat? Why won't you play with the cat? Well, I tried to, but he keeps backing away from me. Like, what do you mean? Oh, the cat don't like me. It won't come to me or anything.
Excuse me. She got the damn thing locked up.
Yeah. She said the cat don't like me. I'm pretty sure that's how it went to. The cat don't like you. But then one day I go to pick the kitty up. I'm sitting there playing with it, holding my arm. This motherfucker tearing my arms all up and shit. I said, this bitch got to go. No, they're like, the cat's not being taken care of. Cat's trying to fucking kill me. It's got to go. So her
pussy didn't like you.
That is one pussy that did not like
bad.
me.
For JJ, my bad.
That pussy did not like me at all. So
he said, "Fuck you."
So we gave the kitten to her parents to raise and house and all. So her parents took care of the kitten and all. But then she wanted to have a baby. She wanted to have a child. Even her grandparents and parents were like, no, you're not having a child. You are not mentally capable to have a child. Even my mom, my mom was like, are you fucking nuts? And we all just looked at her like,
man, she probably about passed out after that.
Oh, shit. she was in tears. She said she wanted something to love her or for her to love, and my mom be like, that's what your husband is
here's
for.
A snake. Use it in your own imagination.
Exactly. My mom was always stern with her. I mean, like, you got a husband who loves you, love him. Do you really necessarily need a baby right now? Like, you're not mentally capable. You just got out of the nut house. Even her own parents were saying the same damn thing, So
I can see what you did now. You said, babe, I need a vacation here. Let me go put you in here real quick for about 11 more days.
I tell you what, those 11 days were peaceful that she was gone.
I believe if I got like an extra 4 hours of sleep and everything else, didn't have a cat meowing in your ears. Like, yeah, shut up, your damn
Hey, take over for a minute, Mike. I got a phone call to take.
All right. But yeah, as Mike said, he got married in '06. I got married in '06. My ex-wife was a nut job. Like a nut job and a half, and I'm telling you. Yeah. She freaking like punched me and shit. I mean, I did nothing wrong. Like she was just a nut job and cracked my windshield of my car. I mean, there's times that I got like really pissed off at her, and then I told her one night I had a dream that she was gonna die. Almost did, but because of her thyroid, she got it cured, but she was damn near death. And she was locked up. I had her ass locked up a couple times. It was peaceful them times too. For third-degree assault and all that shit. So yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, and She punched me in the eye because of a fucking cheeseburger at McDonald's. All of McDonald's, but when I get married again one day. Not that nut job though.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's some crazy shit getting punched in the eye over a fucking cheeseburger. But that's just because it wasn't made right. She said, "I'm like, what dumbass fucking hits you over a fucking cheeseburger?"
God
I
damn.
got except mine was I got married in a courthouse. I had a reception, and it was in West Virginia, of course,
Okay.
and it was during a hurricane.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had a hurricane wedding.
I
Not a
bet
hurricane party, but a hurricane wedding.
I bet everybody was wet getting out of there.
No, but it was a hurricane that happened in '06 of September 1st. I don't know which one that was.
Oh, okay. I can't even tell you which one it was.
Because even kids were let out of school early, or they were closing schools because of it. It was that bad.
Wasn't it around the time of Katrina or something?
Katrina was '07.
Okay.
I got married in '06. Katrina was, I think, before
Okay.
'06. I don't know. I've been trying to look that shit up, but I can never get an accurate answer. So
yeah, let me see here.
But I know it was during a hurricane because they closed schools and shit. And but it might have been September 7th or September 2nd when the hurricane actual hit.
Hurricane Katrina was 2005.
Yeah. So what was in 2006 on September 2nd?
Let's see, which was hurricane? Okay. Hurricane.
I think it was Opal Gordon something.
September 2006.
06.
Florence.
Yeah, that's the one that I had my wedding at.
Yeah,
Florence.
It formed September 3rd, 2006.
Yeah, that one. That's the one I had a wedding of.
Oh shit.
That hit Maryland.
Yeah, that was way beyond. With mine was in May. I don't even remember if May had a hurricane or not, but
probably not. I mean, you can look it up. I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but I don't recall of one except for Florence.
Yeah, but I tell you, like when she left.
But you will have a hurricane within the next couple of days. I guarantee you coming up again because of that storm that just passed. They said that's going to be the first subtropical hurricane or tropical storm this year.
Shit, it feels like it. God damn. I mean, it's windy out there right now, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it ain't ever here, but I mean, they say that's going to go back out to sea, curve down, head towards Georgia, and reform as a subtropical storm.
That wouldn't surprise me.
If that happens, that means it's going to be a very active hurricane season. Like, okay, whatever. You all say that every year. We didn't have hardly anything last year.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that year, let me tell you how happy I was for this, right? Like, I spent 4 or 5 months married to this woman. And, she was just driving me up the fucking wall. Like, I loved her, but it got to the point where I was just like almost tired of her being around. Like, I know, she's bipolar. She has all these issues and shit. But by the time, it was like, I want to say close to October. And she wanted to go stay the night at her grandma's house. And I said, okay, I'll go take you there, and then I'll on my way to work. I took her.
Pack all your shit. If you're right up there, we're going to Granny's house. You'll be all right.
So I took her around 7 p.m. Yeah, I took her around 7 o'clock. I dropped her off, and I came back home. And like a half hour to an hour later, she calls me, and she was like, I don't know. She's in tears. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to come back. I might want to stay here. And I said, what's wrong? You were fine an hour ago when I dropped you off. And she's always putting the blame, like, she's like, you don't love me. I feel like you don't love me. Your mom and I, we always get to these fights. Da da da. I said, honey, I love you. I'm trying to cheer her up. I'm trying to calm her down. And
I told her in bed, she gone. Bye. Don't call me no more.
Exactly.
If it was me, if this was today's me, that would have been my answer to it.
Yeah. So she, we're sitting there talking for about 10, 15 minutes. I'm trying to calm her down. I said, look, if you want to stay over there for the night, that's fine. If you want to stay longer, just let me go. Call me tomorrow and we'll discuss it. I'll come by your grandmother's house or I'll pick you up or whatever and we'll talk about it. And you said, okay. And we said goodnight. And I went to work that night. I went putting too much thought into it, but I was just thinking the whole night at work. I'm like, I bet she's gonna stay. I bet she's gonna stay, and I just kept
Probably
thinking it,
take
you
your
know.
vacation time, baby.
Yeah. And I'm like, what if she comes back and we work things out? I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do from there. But I'm just like hoping for one thing, fingers crossed, hoping for one thing, And
Uh,
come the next morning, and this was a Tuesday night that I took her in because I was off on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So Wednesday morning, I got home from work, settled down, laid down in bed, went to sleep. Early afternoon came, 1, 2 o'clock came. My dad walked in. He woke me up and he said, Sherry called. I got off the phone with her. She said she's staying with grandma. She's moving back home with grandma. Her parents and her, they're going to come by in a couple hours to get all her stuff. And I'm not even remotely upset at this point. I'm not like,
Quack's like, man, I'm going to the beach.
yeah, I'm not even upset. I'm trying to compress and compute
Yeah,
everything.
you're trying to get a little inch of a sad film, but nope, it ain't there.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like, okay, all this happening since we talked last night, and I'm like, I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
I'm so sorry. Bless your heart. It's okay. I feel you. But you know what? Bye, bitch.
Pretty much. So I took a few minutes to use the bathroom, get myself situated, and my dad, he always quotes this movie. It's a movie from the 1980s from Danny DeVito and Richard Dreyfuss, Tin Men. He said, I
Oh
pulled a
yeah.
fucking Danny DeVito on that bitch. He said,
Is that the one with Kevin Costner as the golf player?
no, I don't know what that one is. This one,
That's Tin Cup. My bad. That's Tin
yeah,
Cup.
that's
My bad.
Tin Cup. This one is they play aluminum side salesmen, and they're in the competing business of it, and they're going like back and forth with each other, battle of wits and shit. And so Richard Dreyfuss, he ends up having an affair with his wife. His wife is like very unsatisfied. So he calls Danny DeVito up and he's like, hey, this is a big fuck you. I just fucked your wife. He's like, yeah, you know what? I don't care much for the bitch. You can keep her. That kind of thing.
Oh Lord.
So he goes home that night and he's like, bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. He walks to the fucking door. He goes upstairs to the fucking bedroom. He starts packing all her clothes and shit and starts throwing it out the goddamn window into the fucking street and shit. He said, what else has she got? Toiletries. He goes to the bathroom, packs up all his stuff in the bathroom, throws it all out the fucking window. He's like, I'm a free man.
Oh, God.
My dad said I was pretty much the same way. I wasn't trying to be like exactly, but I'm just like, I'm packing all her stuff up in boxes and bags in the bedroom, and I'm taking them down the stairs, sitting them out on the front porch and shit. I had all of her stuff sitting on the
Lord.
front
Yeah,
porch.
you have to be careful back at that time. I could have gotten in trouble if I did that.
Oh
From what I
man.
always understood.
But I set all her stuff outside on the front porch, and I made sure I had gotten rid of everything of hers. And of course, I think there was a couple things of mine that were ended up in her boxes and shit. But I'm like, fuck it, it's whatever. And by the time her and her parents came by to grab the shit, I was in the bathroom. I was taking a shit. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking stand out there. My mom was standing at the door watching her take the stuff, and she asked her for the wedding ring because my parents bought the wedding ring for her, and she said, I want it back.
Right.
So she gave her the wedding ring back, no harm, no foul. They got all her stuff packed away, packed in the car, and they took off. And that night, I just felt like this big sigh of relief, just like overwhelmed me. I was so overwhelmed with
He's
relief.
like, shit, that's a couple big old Whoppers there from Burger King now, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt this big weight lift off of my shoulders that night. I was like, hey, I'm redoing the fucking bedroom and shit. Out cleaning up everything, straightening up everything. I'm redoing the whole fucking room. I was like, it feels good to relax again. And all because she could not get along with my mom for whatever reason, like with her mentality and all. I'm like,
That's the thing I don't understand with some of these people out there. They always got that problem with mothers for some reason. You never figure it out. Like, what is your problem?
I know. She said she felt like she was in that one movie. I think it was with Jennifer Lopez or something like that. She felt like she was, in that movie with the wicked stepmom or something like that. That's how she always compared it all with my mom and all. But my mom,
wow, comparing a life thing, compare it to a movie. Wow.
Exactly, viral guy. Shit, what's going on, man? But yeah, she would always compare that whatever, with what was going on, and I just could never figure her out with that shit. I could never figure it out. But I was just so glad that she was gone, and she was just out. She was just gone. And I was single for at least 2 years after that. I was like, I'm a free man. But I tell you all out there, if you ever get with somebody, check their background.
Ask questions.
Ask questions, yeah. Make sure she ain't bipolar. If she is bipolar, make sure she's medicated, or she's stable enough. She knows what she's doing. She's not gonna end up like the way my ex was. Let me tell you something about my ex, okay? 2 quick stories. My mom, she said this bitch used to talk to the walls. she said,
"Are you sure she wasn't part of the Extras?"
She said this bitch would be up in the living room sitting on the couch, and my mom would be downstairs doing something. There's nobody else in the house, and she would be yelling at somebody, "Leave me alone! Leave me alone!" She'd be like, "Sherry, who the fuck are you talking to?" Nobody.
You definitely married the Extras for damn sure.
My dad, he told Mel this story when we first got together, and we were talking about Sherry, and he said Sherry came downstairs because down in the basement is where my dad's work stuff was. He had a computer set up. It was a family room down here, but we had carpet installed too. So he said she was gonna do some vacuuming, clean up around here and all, and she started using the vacuum, and he was like, "Sherry, what are you doing?" "I'm vacuuming." "Sherry, it's not turned on." "It's not?" "No, you got to plug the thing in order to use it."
Oh my god.
This bitch was vacuuming. The damn thing wasn't plugged in.
Where the hell did you find this one at again?
This is somebody who went to school with me. I've known her since 7th grade. I did not know she was this bad.
Did she even pass school? That's my first question.
She had to have. She really did. Let me see. I gotta look her up. Okay. So
are you sure it's not the one you made fun of on that damn speaker?
Oh, she.
To me, that's why every time you picture this person, that's exactly what I see.
What's funny is she's friends with that fucking person I covered on Spricker Spocker.
Oh my!
They know each other. They talked in high school and all. I gotta see if I can find a decent. Not decent, but a somewhat picture of her. Because
I want to see this shit.
This is This is the best I can do. I'm trying to find something without filters, right?
She probably got a Facebook. I probably don't know how to operate that too.
She's on Facebook. The last picture.
How the hell she could be on Facebook but she can't operate a damn vacuum?
When was this picture taken? Okay.
I'm blown away by that.
Okay, I'm gonna send you two.
You know how to operate Facebook, but you don't know how to operate a dang on.
I'm gonna send you vacuum. 2 pictures of her, right? Okay. This first picture, this was back in 2013. Now this is like 7 years after we after we split. That's what she looked like back in 2013.
Oh, I ain't got nothing yet.
I put it up on it's on Discord. This is what she looks like now.
What the hell? Mike. I'm sorry, my blows 1,000 times, man.
Viral.
Yeah, no wonder she can't.
Hop in the Discord.
No wonder she can't operate a fucking vacuum.
Sabrina's sister.
Sabrina, I'm fucking dead. I'm fucking dead. I'm done. I'm done. I got hit it out of the park.
She was nowhere near that when I married her, trust me.
That's Hubbard. That's Husband's other fiance.
But
I'm fucking dead, dude.
shit.
I can't.
Oh god!
Mm.
And the funny thing is, it's like I want to say 3 years after the split, I found out that she went lesbian. She's lesbian. She's with some.
Oh
woman.
my god!
Yeah. Let me see if I can find her.
No, Mike, just stop. Just stop, Mike. Just stop. You're making it worse.
Shit.
No.
This will just be
no.
This will be
Yeah.
entertainment for viral guy. I don't even know if I can find anything.
No, tuna will never be the same.
No. When was this one taken?
Tuna, the brand of tuna stock just went down. I'm sorry.
This was back in 2014. This is her and her lesbian lover.
Oh, hold on a minute. This I gotta say. Fucking bugs. All right.
This is a hell of an episode, people, where I'm roasting my ex-wife.
There you go. That's gonna be the topic of it. Which one, who?
She is the one on the she's the one on the right. Her lesbian lover is on the left.
They both look like, oh my. No comment from the peanut gallery on this end. I'm sorry, folks, but if I had to say something, it's gonna be me, and then we're gonna get booted.
for 2013, here you go, viral.
Oh, what? Oh my, yeah. Hey, she got a puppy. That's an upgrade.
Yeah. So then I'm like, what the hell happened all these fucking years? It's like, what happened?
I can tell you exactly what happened. But you don't want to hear it, though. I'm telling you. You want me to say it or you don't want me to say it? I'll leave it up to you.
Viral, full size. There you go.
Do you want me to say it or not? Because I can tell you exactly what happened.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so she went to West Virginia for a road trip. All right. And she saw this person named Sabrini. He said, Big Mac. Yeah, buddy. Spread 'em. That's what happened. The end.
Oh, what was that fucking meme? I was sending fucking people. Oh shit, I gotta find it here. It was a meme I sent to a couple buddies of mine the other night. If Facebook would even fucking load. Oh, where is it?
Oh, you could definitely tell they are meant for each other. One looks dumber than the other.
Picture this big guy on a motorcycle with a Captain America shield, and it was like, and Captain America ate the Avengers. The end. God dang, Viral, you got me there, man. It's like Sabrina's sister.
That's Edward Hubbard's fucking second wife.
Yeah. I think I told you that they split. She left his ass.
Yeah, they told me that.
I was like, damn, she did. But yeah, that's what it looks like right now. If you guys are unaware of what it looks like, just hit me up for the link for the Discord. I'll invite you to the Discord. You can hop in and be like, holy fuck, what the hell is that?
That's what you call a triple whopper. I ain't no such thing as a double. That's a triple.
Wait a minute. Haggie's in the Discord here. I'm gonna say, hey Hydro, Sabrini's sister, my ex from 2006. Oh shit! But yeah, that was. I
hope you're ready to be roasted by Haggy if he sees that.
Oh, he can roast me, you know. We bust each other's balls.
You're like, what the fuck did you find?
Shit, I mean, this thing is, man, this will give Hubbard a run for his money. I tell you.
It probably would. He'd be like,
He'd probably be like
baby.
Oh man. I'll tell you one thing, she probably smells just as bad as Sabrini.
I don't want to know. I might lose my appetite.
But yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like she was a lot more thinner back in 2006 and all. You know, like
Yeah, they all start out that way, and then somehow when they leave your ass, they turn into something different.
Yeah, she turned into Sabrina and a lesbian at the same time.
Sabrina lesbian edition.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's the story of my life, you know. I'm just.
I had a skinny broad. She's just a nut job.
You got
She
lucky.
gained a lot of weight after I left her ass.
That always seems to be a thing. It's like
She tried to take me to court 2 other times when I wasn't even in town.
Oh wow!
I wasn't even around her, and she tried to take me to court and it got dismissed.
Damn.
I was like, "What the fuck you trying to take me to court for?" I
Oh,
looked it up, and I'm like, "Prejudiced." I'm like, "What fucking shit is that?"
Prejudice.
Yeah, some prejudice shit. I'm like, "The fuck?"
She's trying to get you
Like,
for
I guess
hate.
she's trying to get me, I guess, for money or something, and like, or abandonment or some shit like that. I'm like, "Oh no."
Judge be like, what kind of prejudice? Oh, he hate women. Like, what the fuck did he
No,
marry you
that's
for?
the thing about prejudice where they can't bring it back to court unless something happens or some bullshit.
Yeah. I'm just glad. Well,
yeah.
like with my my recent one, you know, the one of 10 years, the only thing we went to court over to finalize it and all, because we have Peyton, so we created a document. We made up a document, you know, like who's got her, you know, like a split custody kind of thing, you know, who has her certain days or whatever. So
I do gotta say one thing though, Mike.
Yeah.
She was an upgrade from your first one. Your second was a very big upgrade from your first one. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, she she you know, we did the whole thing.
At least she knew how to work a vacuum. I mean, I'll give her that. But I mean,
at times, yeah, she vacuumed at times, but she didn't know how to plug it in.
You're telling me the second one didn't know either?
Oh, she did. Yeah, that was I guess.
That's what I'm saying. At least the second one, at least she knew how to work a vacuum.
Yeah, it was a slight upgrade. Yeah.
It was a slight upgrade.
But like I said, like, you know, my second one, we had so many damn violent arguments and fights and shit like that. Like, I've always told her, you know, I was always, you know, stern and straight up with her. I'm like, you know, if I could go back in time, I would have, you know, told my younger self, stay the fuck away from that. But then you got to look at the kids. You know, I look at my daughter. I'm like, you know, that's the only thing I would never regret is my daughter. You know, because I love my daughter. I love my daughter to death.
Once you have kids, it changes a lot of things.
It does. You can hate the ex, but you can't hate the kid. It's like, you know, because something always.
Hate the kid. That's right.
Exactly. You know, something always good comes out of something bad like that. You know, that's how. You know, I also, you know, my Mel feels sometimes too. You know, she'll bring me down to earth with that and remind me, you know, because you know her ex, he was worse than what my ex was, you know, but she looks at her daughter, she looks at Avery, you know, and she loves her to death. You know, she is the best mom that she can be, you know, and that's all, you know, Avery could ask for. That's all anybody could ask for, you know, like you were with an asshole. Yeah. He's fucking his own shit up right now. Let him, you know, I mean, he does spend every other weekend with her. You know, they do things together and all, but other than that, you know, he's still a piece of shit. And that's all you gotta look at him as. You know, she's still, you know, in Avery's eyes, she still loves daddy. You know, she still sees daddy. You can't take that away from her. You know, you can still hate the father. You know, just don't, you know, bring that kind of drama into the child's life to make the child decide, you know, certain things. Like, I don't do that with Peyton. Like, you know, Peyton, she's 12 years old now. You know, she'll get to the point where, you know, when she's old enough, I'll explain to her what happened. You know, but you know, you let the children make their decisions as they grow. You know, when they see what happens between different households and then hear about what goes on, you let them make the decisions. You don't make the decisions for them. You know, that's why everybody stays cordial as much as we can. You know, like
co-parenting is just as good. I mean,
it is.
You know, they say, "Oh, well, you should work things out." No, you could be a co-parent. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Just like I'll throw out somebody's dirty laundry out there too. You know, related. So you know, Mel's ex. You know, he has, including Avery, 6 kids, and they're all girls.
Good God, man.
Six kids, and
that's a hell of a lot of child support.
Yeah. and Mel.
God, I can just imagine how much that is a month.
Well, Mel didn't
You gotta
really.
be a damn millionaire to have that many kids.
Yeah. Well, Mel did. At first, Mel said she didn't really want the child support. She didn't care for it. She didn't want his money. But you know how the court system is in
And she
Maryland.
found out he had 5 other ones. Then that's when, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah. But at least, like, you know, with Mel did everything smart when she left him. You know, I'm not going to get into that detail, but she did everything smart. You know,
No,
she
that's her
has.
story to tell. But
It
I'm
is.
just saying.
But for the others,
know.
the other 5 kids, the woman that he was with at the time, she was also somebody who went to school with us. This woman might as well be labeled as a tripolar, you know, because she was that bad. You know, there was something wrong mentally with her. And, you know, she was popping kids out one after the other. She had 5 kids with him. But with her,
oh, wow.
She left. She left the kids high and dry. You know, she left him. She left the kids high and dry. You know, and yet she tried to make it like she was the victim in the whole thing. But with her, that's how she is. You know, she was maybe just as guilty as he was with whatever, you know, they were doing. But, you know, she left these kids, and these kids were without a mother. You know, they were without a mother for so long. And, you know, and Mel, she fit that role as the mother figure for, you know, a couple years. You know, she loved them kids to death. You know, no matter how good or bad they were, she loved them kids to death. She stepped in as the mother figure. And, you know, of course, the older kids, you know, they come to, I think they end up hating their birth mother for what she did, you know, because she just left out.
And honest to God, that does happen down in life when the kids realize,
yeah,
where are you all my life? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It does happen.
And you got to let the kids make the decisions, you know, and the kids always do make the decisions about, you know, whether a parent is good in their eyes or bad in their eyes, depending on the decisions that they make, you know. And of course, you know, when a parent just drops out and then, you know, years down the road, you're like, where have you been? Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave? And of course, 8 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times, a parent is not going to have the exact answer for them. They'll try to make up some kind of excuse to sugarcoat the real reason. You know, like right now, you know, this woman who left them, you know, she's in a newly formed relationship. You know, she's been in this new relationship for a couple years or so. You know, she's got stepkids, you know, his children and all. Last time I seen her back in I want to say January or February. She came in Walmart and I was leaving, and she said, yeah, everything's very busy. I got to get this ready for that. I got to get that ready for this. It's been very busy. It's been very hectic, da-da-da-da. But then somebody in her mental state is like, everything is probably hectic and very busy, you know? It's like there's just so much that you can't really compute, and then you just explode and it's all over. Like, that's like with me. Like, I try, that's like my problem. I try to do too much sometimes at one time, and it can stress me out. It really does. And Mel sees it, and she says, you got to learn to calm down and relax. But I'm in that state of mind where I'm used to doing something, but then sometimes I'll get overwhelmed and I'll end up doing too many things at once, try to get this done, that done, this done, that done. And then I end up tiring myself out physically and mentally. Like, I would love to try to be able to relax at times, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes, you know, there's not enough time for me to do it. But, you know, when there are times for me to relax, you know, I do relax. You know, like, even if it's just something as little as sitting on a couch, you know, like, I've always said my type of vacation is just sitting at home.
Man, you need to go to the beaches here.
Well, we're going to do that here.
I tell you
come
what,
July.
I'm going to be doing that if I don't have to have surgery. If it's just mini surgery, I'm good in a couple weeks or whatever. I'm going to the damn beach.
Oh, damn! What surgery you having?
I gotta have another surgery I had like last year.
Oh,
possibly.
wow! Damn.
Yeah, damn leak came out. But where they cut me out last time, there's a hole. There's a hole there. It somehow created a hole in my body. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I figure, shoot, June 6th is Father's Day. We could always tell the good stories of the Father's Day. Mother's Day, we really don't have that many memories of. So we're just first on our exes right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And it's like, you know, like, I guess maybe it's because
Mother's Day, roasting your ex-wives.
Oh shit! But yeah, it's like, yeah, when it comes to mothers, it's like I guess you would have to have a female perspective here to actually give a good
You'd
perspective.
have to get a person that's actually a mother to come on stream to talk about it because we're
Yeah.
just roasting our ex-wives out the mouth. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
It's like still go back.
By the way, my ex-wife is a mother, but it ain't from me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I could roast her ass all I want. I buried her ass for 6 fucking months.
There you go. That's like mine. My ex, she may be a mom to my daughter and all, but I'm like, yeah, well, at least you're gone, I guess. Like I spent too much.
Mother's Day, there's your present.
Yeah, I'm with somebody better now,
But happy Mother's Day, Mel, if you can hear us. But yeah.
Yeah, she lives somewhere.
January 6th will have more better stories than us first interaction.
January 6th.
Oh, not January 6th, June 6th, I think is Father's Day, ain't it?
Yeah, I honestly don't even know.
I knew it's in June.
It is. January 6th. Yeah, we're gonna have stories about the wall.
We're gonna talk about our fathers on January 6th. But
oh yeah.
No, June we'll probably have a lot more better stories for you. Like we're not mothers or anything, so we're just taking advantage of roasting our ex-wives.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll end it right here because I do have to take care of a couple other things, for when Mel does come home. Like I said,
I ain't got no stories on this end, so
yeah. Plus, she's gonna end up doing a little cookout when she gets home. It's what she wants to do. She wants to cook on the grill. I got me a woman that likes to cook on the grill, people.
Hey, look, where's your ass gonna cook up some ribs, man?
Oh, we got.
See if you're taking a break. It's your turn to cook on that grill, son.
Yeah, we're gonna have steak, hamburgers, hot dogs, that kind of stuff. We're gonna have some people over for the cookout too. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Have some cake too.
Yeah, we got cake as well.
Damn, man, you going all out this year.
Yeah, I spent almost an hour earlier.
I bet your ex-wife wouldn't know how to cook a damn cake. Not the second one, but the first one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
First one, be like, what's this? It's a cake, you dummy.
It's made of Jell-O.
You don't lick it, you eat it.
I will say this. Mel can cook. Mel's a really good cook. She went to a culinary school during her college years. Yeah, so she is a really good cook. My dad, he loves her cooking. We all love her cooking. She does a really good job.
Okay, Mike, if you got to give it 1 out of 10, man, 10 being the best.
Oh, it's got to be 10. Yeah.
Oh, that's because you'd be in damn near trouble if you said 9, 8, or 7, or 6. Yeah, huh?
But she does pretty good.
Like, does she have like her own ingredients and for some certain things, or
yeah she has a cookbook. She has different recipes that's handed down from her mom, so certain things she ends up making, certain ways she makes stuff. She'll if she needs some kind of ingredient from the store, she'll list it out and we'll go get it for her and she'll mix it up and all. So she does a really good job.
Has she cooked you a Philly steak and cheese?
She could cook a real mean steak, I will say, but she hasn't done any steak subs yet. She hasn't.
All right, well, there you go, Mike. You got to put it to the test, man. You got to put it to the test.
Well, when it comes to steak subs,
steak and cheese on it, man.
Well, I tell you, when it comes to steak subs, if she don't feel like doing them, we'll get them from this place in Dundalk.
Jersey Mike's.
She's had Jersey Mike's a couple times. We got one near our house. There's a place in Dundalk called Captain Harvey's. And
what the hell is that?
It's a steak. They got steak, platters, stuff like that. Seafood. They also do seafood as well.
Nice.
They have some banging subs, man. Like they're expensive.
Like how? Like are they like? Do they give you the works or do they?
Oh, they go to town.
Huge?
They go to fucking town, man. Like you're paying if you pay like 10 something or maybe a little bit more for a sub like that. Like let's say a fucking 12 or 13-inch sub. Like this motherfucker, that's a big fucking sub roll, and they load the fuck out of it. Like there's like so much to it. Like if you get a whole 12-inch and it's loaded, like you probably won't. I guarantee you won't finish that sub in one sitting. You'll have to come back later for the other half.
Are you serious?
That's how full they fill them. Yeah.
So it's like Chipotle, pretty much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can get
them burritos. Them little chicken fajita burritos. I could eat about 2 of those.
Oh yeah,
and them things are good as shit.
I bet. But these things, like if you ever back up in Maryland, like if you're near Dundalk, check them out. Captain Harvey's like,
I'm calling your ass up. I get to Maryland again.
There you go.
Hey, look, man, let's go to Dundalk, dude. We're gonna put this shit to the test.
Oh, you know what, man? Like every year on Mel's birthday, she has to have Captain Harvey's. It's a tradition for her. She loves their subs. And recently we were at her parents' house Thursday for an early Mother's Day get together. And her sister and all, they put some money together and got everybody subs from there. And I had I want to say it was like a 7-inch steak sub. It was like a Philly cheese.
7.
Yeah, it's like if 6-inch it's not really 6 inches, but it's not big like a 12-incher.
So it's like 7.
Yeah, right. But it was damn good. Like I prefer mine, in particular way, because she asked me if I wanted hot sauce, and I'm like, nah, I don't want it. It's real spicy. I told her I'd wanted cheese, mayonnaise, and ketchup on it. And with that,
you put fucking ketchup on a steak and cheese sub.
Oh yeah, and with that on there, man. Oh my god.
Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? I'm just saying, man.
I feel like it sometimes.
Oh shit, Mike.
Maybe it's a fucking Sherry's baby. Who knows?
Oh shit.
Sabrina's sister.
Oh shit.
But I tell you, that's.
But no, man. So you say it's that damn good, huh?
It was really good, man. It was fucking
Is it
banging.
No, it's like $10 for the whole meal. You get the fries and shit with it, or just a sub?
It depends. Let me pull up a menu of that. Let's see, Captain Harvey's subs. They should have Yep, they do have a website on here. I'm gonna put that in the Discord. Nice. I'm gonna put it in Discord. You guys can check it out here too.
I want to see how big them subs are, though, man. I'm curiosity, because if it's that freaking big, next time I'm going there, I'm going up fucking 95 while I can go up fucking Dundalk.
Yeah, there's let's see, photo gallery steak sub. Let's see. They even got my dad.
How big are the burgers? Have you ever tried? Were they expensive as the burgers that you had there at that Vic Di Potato thing?
Probably just about as much. My dad had this one here, the cheeseburger sub. They cook up the cheese, the actual burgers, cheeseburgers. They put it on there with onions, pickles, lettuce, ketchup, and shit like that.
All right.
Let me see. Where is the menu? Okay, so let's see. You can get a cheese. Holy shit! Yeah, they are. You could get a whole cheese steak sub, and this has American provolone pepper jack cheese on it. You get a whole cheesesteak sub for $17.92. $18 for
French fries.
It just says for the steak. For the hamburgers, you could get a regular hamburger, with your choice of cheese on it. Whole hamburger, $12.90. You can get a cheeseburger.
$12 for a burger?
Yeah.
Damn, it better be huge.
Yeah, I know. They also got stuff like, flounder. They got fish. They got the flounder, haddock, fried popcorn shrimp. You can get a whole fried popcorn shrimp for $14.50. They got quite a bit on here. Let's see, 8-inch. Okay, yeah, it's 8-inch submarines. Okay, the 8-inch ones, if you get a half, it's $7.45. Whole for $14.90.
16 for $14. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Then you
That's
got
not bad, though.
Yeah, we got the Captain's Baskets. Wings and fries. You got beef fries and gravy. That's $10.45. The haddock and fries, which is $9.99. They got chicken tender platters, of course. Honey or barbecue, $8.99 for that. Kids meal's just as expensive. Kids meal for 6-piece chicken nuggets and fries, that's $5.45.
That's normal. That sounds normal to me.
They even have
talking about the subs, though, man. That thing's, they better be fucking loaded.
Oh, they are. Shit. If only a pitcher could do justice, man. Next time we get them, actually, whenever that'll be, hun, if you're still listening, next time we get Captain Harvey's and you get a whole sub, we got to take a fucking picture of it with like my forearm next to it. Just take a picture.
I want to. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I want to see it as.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm curious.
Oh, they got some good.
I'm curious. I didn't even know they even had a place like that. Cause like you go to me. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Every time I go to a restaurant, and I know I'm taking a little bit more time, but I know you got to go do stuff.
That's all right.
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Every time I go to a restaurant, everybody asks, "Why do you always get a burger?" Because I want to see how if they say they got the best burger, I want a burger. I want something that's going to take me one meal and I'm not going to eat the rest of the fucking day kind of burger.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I am. If you can fill me up in one damn setting, I'm done. You get my money every time I come by.
Exactly.
If you don't, okay, I mean, that's how I am. It's like I want something that's gonna fill my ass up one fucking setting, and I don't have to eat the rest of the fucking day,
Mhm.
and I'm just satisfied with that. You know, like it's got to be one good old big. I mean, I've seen like how they make. I'm not sure if you used to listen to Man Foods or whatever, where they make up this like 110-pound burger or whatever. That has like all this shit in it,
I
but
might
you
have.
know. I mean, just one good, big, huge, juicy burger with some fries on it and a nice Diet Coke. Boom, man, you set for life. I mean, not no
Yeah.
cheapy eepy little Whopper that's like 2 inches tall and like, that ain't gonna do shit.
That's all smushed together, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, even when you go in and order right there at the window, you could sit there and watch them cook the shit and put it together, wrap it up and everything, that kind of thing when you're waiting. But yeah, they do have some road banging food. So yeah, anybody, if you ever come to Maryland, if you're in the Baltimore Dundalk area, that's definitely worth checking out. Like I said, if you're in the
mm,
Discord, I got the website in the Discord. You guys could check out. If there's anything you guys see in there that, like I said, they got a.
DGUPS.
But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Like I said, yeah, whenever we get it again, I'll post a picture for you all, just so you see how big these sons of bitches are.
Yeah, I'm curiosity. You got my curiosity up now, brother.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're closed today, of course. Yeah, they're closed today. It's Mother's Day. Why not? Oh,
Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
they're closed on Sundays anyway. So they're open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do have some
There ain't
odd
nothing wrong with
hours.
that. Hey, have you ever been to Whataburger?
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of Whataburger?
No.
Oh my god! And I'll take a fucking picture of the menu next time. I'm good to one up here. It's not even that far from here, but it's a pretty good burgers, man.
I bet.
I ain't gonna lie. It's family owned, but they're really good. And next time I get a burger, man, I'll take a picture of that and show it to you, man. You'll be like, holy shit! It's like, yeah, man, it's good shit.
I bet. It's always those rare places that have the good stuff, even if it's pricey.
Just like you got the sheets and you have the Wawa. The Wawa is actually pretty good. They got them good pretzels in there, like you stuffed cheese pretzels and shit. I'm like,
Yeah, we got Wawas up here too.
I used to go to Wawa all the time when I used to go to work in Frederick and all that. And I was like, man, I gotta stop by Wawa, get my pepperoni sandwich for the bagel in the morning, and get my pretzel, and I'm
Yeah,
set.
yeah, I hear that.
What's good, Arrow?
Hey, who we got here? Oh, Jimbo, what's going on, man?
Not much. Hey, man. You don't mind if I send out your Discord to some people I know that so they can follow you and everything and check you out, do you?
Oh, sure, go on ahead, man. Shit, go ahead.
All right. I'm part of this group that helped me get affiliated on Twitch, and they're really good people. So I wanted to ask you before I went ahead and, sent that out and shit.
Oh shit, thanks. By all means, man. Yeah, feel free to go ahead.
All right, I got you, bro.
All right, happy Mother's Day to you all over there, man. Good talking with you.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, all right?
All right, you too, bud. That is Jimbo8369. He does have his own Twitch channel going on over there. I guess that's his name on there. I think it's twitch.tv/Jimbo8369. Good guy. He just started following us.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I follow him on Discord in here, and he gave us a follow as well. So yeah, thank you for that, man. Definitely. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. I'm going to give Mel a call and see what she wanted to. So if you want to give your sign out there, go ahead, man.
All right, buddy. Again, thank you for checking us out here on Twitch and YouTube and the Faker Book. If you like, we also have a donation PayPal. If you like to donate, we ain't bugging for it, but if you like to, feel free to. Also, um, again, thank you for all the mamas out there. Gave birth to children and all that. Hey, we know sometimes being a mom's good can take a toll on you, but we thank you anyways. And so, also, see if I'm missing anything else. Also, like take the trucker people convoy out there. Where they're all at right now. They're in Wyoming. They'll be heading back to DC. They're on the way back to DC as we speak of. Check them out. Also, like, subscribe, click that notification button, and Mike, you got the rest.
All right. Once again, everybody, thank you for coming in and joining us today on our YouTube channel, Arrow Entertainment. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button over there. Also, we are streaming live on twitch.tv/Arrow with a name. If you're watching us over there, be sure to follow us on there. Also, we are on Facebook. We do have our Facebook page, Arrow with a name. Just click on over there at Arrow WAN 2022. Follow us on there for updates on when we're going to be streaming and what we're going to be streaming next. Also, I will be updating you daily on that page with our Discord link. So if you want to hop into Discord, if you want to join us on Discord, you can find our link on there as well. Anyway, happy Mother's Day to all you brave mothers out there. You know, no matter where you are, if you adopted, if you gave birth, natural birth, C-section, whatever, if you're raising a child, you are a mother. You are a mother here and strong. You know, be the good mother you are. You know, this day is dedicated to you all. Hopefully you're relaxing, doing something you love with your children, whatever, wherever you are. Happy Mother's Day to you all out there. Also, if you have a mother or a grandmother or even a great-grandmother who's passed away many years ago, recently, whatever, why don't you do yourself a favor? Go get some flowers, go out to their grave plots and put some flowers on their grave plots and wish them a happy Mother's Day as well. Because somewhere, somehow, they are still a mother in some way. So until next time, guys, this is Mike and Mike speaking out. Stay tuned in.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.